Hey, did you know there's a lot more going on right now at our websites? Are you watching all 4 of them? If not, check them out. There's a list right here. We got 3 YouTube channels and 1 audio-only channel for your enjoyment. So come on, dig in, and see all the stuff we do here at the North American Snow Queen Palace. Hello everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene. Hail Mary to all of you this fine, wet January 24th, 2015. And of course, we got a lot of little news to talk about. News, views, and information that hopefully you think you can use, but I'm not really particularly sure. One of the strangest pieces of information I got in the mail, this isn't the first time. My bank sent me a new debit card. And I guess they've been hacked again. Or their operations center thought that the card was not secured or something. I don't know. It's a different number, and I gotta call ahead and contact them. I did not get the PIN number. So I don't know if it's anything like this. I'm going to have to contact. I'm going to go see them up on Monday and see what the story is with this card, because this is getting crazy. Constantly sending me new cards, and the other card isn't even that old. It's less than a few months old. That was replaced because the system had discovered cyber attacks on the financial system, so they sent a new card, and then of course they sent this card now to replace that card. So now I have to go ahead and now contact all the companies I do electronic payments with to change all the cards in the computers again. Oh shit. So this is gonna be one of those days of chasing down a video boogeyman. I noticed that the last video didn't really get a lot of excitement with the new IR cut filter. Sorry, I really was hoping you would be more enthusiastic about the fact is that now this legally blind individual was able to successfully complete a procedure and not make a royal mess. I guess some of you guys just don't give a shit. So, well, okay, fine. The next thing we're going to talk about is the weather, because after all, this is winter. This is my season, and obviously we have already experienced winter storm, the newest one, Iola, okay, which sounds like Lord Viola. I'll get to that in a minute. It really wasn't too bad. We got about 8 inches of snow, or about 20 centimeters outside, which isn't enough to really seriously bury you. Okay, it's just kind of a nice. It's like a nice little frosting on the cake. It's not gonna drown you and try and make it difficult to plow your roads. It's just gonna take a little while to get done. But we have another snowstorm coming up, or at least snow event. I don't know how much of a storm or event it is for Monday or Tuesday of this week coming up. So I will let you know exactly as soon as I can find out how much snow we're going to get. Probably not going to get much. Here in New England in general, we got anywhere from, as I said, interior, we got about 5 to 8 centimeters, or 5 to 8 inches of snow, as I said, up to about 15 to 20 centimeters. And we had gotten, there has been some significant snowfall in some areas in the interior of Massachusetts. It got up to 30 centimeters of snow. Not really a lot of snow, but it was the first significant snowfall of 2015. So, yes, it was, pretty good. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Come on, stop with the kisses. Can you just lay down, fam? Thank you. I know you like attention. I know you like being petted and rubbed and everything else. I guess he's not going to give me any respect today. Yeah? No respect? Yeah? Of course he'll give me respect. Alright, so now we talked about I'm gonna get down for a bit. You're distracting me. I'm trying to think. We talk about the power of music and musical instruments. I've been doing some research into determining the kind of musical instruments I want to get. It's a toss-up between a violin and a viola. The viola is a little deeper, huskier sound. It definitely is. Doesn't have the horrifically strident E string that could basically make my ears hurt. But it's it's got a nice warm, sound that I do kind of like. I like the violin too. If the E string wasn't just a royal, wasn't such. The E string is problematic for a lot of reasons. Number one is it can snap. It's not really the strongest string in the string world. I mean, maybe the harp strings are thinner than the E string of violin. If there is, I don't really know. I don't have a harp, so. But the biggest problem is that for a person who's just getting started in music, musical instrument, it's not like I got tons of money to throw around here. I want so much to do more with my later years of my life than sitting on a fat chair and telling you weather stories. Okay, it's just kind of is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Violin, as I said, is about the size of a 14-inch viola. So if I go to 14-inch viola, it's not going to have quite as a deep of resonant sound as a 16-inch. But it will be pretty much within range that I could hold it comfortably like this. And, straight, rose in the bow and play it. Like this, you play it both like that. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it. And it's not gonna be something I'm gonna be done until March anyway. So I certainly got plenty of time to continue to dig up my research. The only problem with going with a viola is that it doesn't seem like there's a lot of books and training videos out there to practice the music on the viola as there is a violin. What is going to be the same is the bowing techniques. What is going to be the same is how you manage the fingering. The notes will be different places though, but that's a problem, especially if you're trying to learn by memory of one instrument for the other. A violin has a D, G, A, an E string, or a viola has a C string, but still has the D, G, A string. It just doesn't have an E instead. It's kind of it's a fifth of an octave lower. It's not really major loss, but it still has kind of a nice sound, kind of like a cello. I like a cello too. I just really want to have something that sounds good. What else is going on today? Not much. Yes, I did show you this in the last video, and some of you probably just looked at the camera and said, big deal. Well, I think it is a big deal, but my cat just interrupted me again. And that is that homemade stand that I built is now pretty much cured. I still haven't painted it yet or decided on what kind of paint to use. I'm thinking I like the two-tone look that I got on it, so I might go ahead and just put a plastic compatible paint on it. Let me show you what that would look. Just a cat. You're in my way all the time. Okay, now I like this two-tone look. This is plaster in here. It's really, really heavy. It's got a nice, good base. It's not shaky. Even if I shake it, it just kind of counterbalances it. Technically, you can, if you really wanted to, you could technically take it apart again. But I don't really know if I'd recommend it. I didn't quite get all the excess plaster off of it. I certainly need to clean it up quite a bit. What's nice about this is that you can use this for, like I said, like I could put this camera out the window right now, and I could watch the streets, sort of like you see on the major TV networks when they have the sky cams and all that. It's really kind of a nice way to go. It's also very heavy. It's very stable. So the wind, if I put some rubber feet on the bottom of this, that might be a bit of a problem. But if I can put some rubber feet on this, it won't slide. Even without the rubber feet on some surfaces, it doesn't slide that bad. It keeps the wind resistance low. But this is for indoor use. I wouldn't recommend using it outdoors, at least not in the elements. If it was inside, or if it was a nice clean day, or if it was protected from the harsh elements like the snow and rain, because this is an indoor camera, this would be great. This is the monochrome camera, by the way. I just happen to have it on here because it looks good. So it didn't cost me much to make this, and it's still got to clean up a little more. As I said, I kind of like the two-tone colors. It really looks good with the plaster inside. I think it has a nice look to it. Goes really great with the camera. The next thing we're going to talk about is, this is more of a localized news for the people of Connecticut. This may not so much excite anybody outside of Connecticut. Connecticut Light and Power, we often call Connecticut Light and Gouge, is changing their name to Eversource. A person on Facebook told me that there's a company in China also named Eversource that happens to do the same thing that Connecticut Light and Gouge does, which is to sell electric energy products. So we don't know if the two might be related to each other, or if they just might be coincidence. I don't know. I mean, it's possible it could be coincidence. I don't think Connecticut Light and Power has been outsourced to China, but you never know with this age of multinational corporations and things like that, and you just don't know. The camera that we're using right now, I had to fix something in the camera because I was checking. I was just curious anyway, so I decided to pop the hood on it. And at the same time, I noticed that the BNC connector had bad solder connections on it, so I fixed those at the same time. That's why the picture was sometimes acting kind of funny. But it turns out it is actually this little tiny board camera inside. I suspected as much. It's just a tiny little CCD board camera module that's mounted on the front, and then they have the rear module, which contains the push buttons and the power connectors. And it does have on it the necessary voltage regulation and rectification to run on 12 volts DC and 12 volts AC, if you're so inclined. I never used it with the AC. I never had the nerve. I was afraid I was going to blow my camera sky high. And you know what? Given the way that these cheap Chinese cameras are made, that's probably possible. Because the rectifier bridge on it looked very small. It didn't look like it had a lot of extra capacity. It definitely was. It definitely was a rectification bridge. It definitely. The good news is that it may actually also provide for reverse polarity protection. I don't know. I'm not going to test it by hooking this camera up to battery on backwards on purpose to see what it does. I mean, I would like to see my camera survive. Thank you. Because the sad truth is that technically the rectification circuits are usually pretty small. And Mr. Cat, you're upstaging me again. Will you please just lay down, okay? That's for my coffee, okay? Alright, make a deal. Okay, get down. Thank you. So they... Why do you keep doing that to me? I give you attention, and I give you food. You slept with me all day. And why don't you be like Rusty? Lay in my bedroom for a while. Rusty was the other cat you saw earlier. Apparently he got tagged in a cat fight, and he's got some injuries on his back. He's okay. He's not bleeding. He's healing. So I'm glad to see that. Checked to make sure for infections, and he doesn't have anything really. No, he doesn't have any infections right now. He's just a little bit grumpy because it's really hard when you're not when you're a boy cat and you don't have any girl cats in your area. It's just like being a teenage boy, I suppose. You really want to spread your genetic material, but you can't because there's no one out there to spread your genetic material with. It makes you kind of moody. I've had many boy cats like that. I can certainly speak from experience. It's hard because I don't want to try to push the idea of people shouldn't, neuter their kitties or puppies, dogs, whatever. But, the truth is that we have to neuter ourselves also. I already am naturally neutered anyway, so I can't even I'm sterile. But still, we happen to be... Oh, my poor little soldier. Hey, Michelle! I'm right here. I'm not neutered. I can still have good babies. I got a wife and kids at home. Good for you. I never had the privilege of having kids. I never had the privilege of having a family. I'd like to. Yeah. I'm talking about human family, Mr. Kitty. Okay? Kitty family's fine, but you guys are not exactly the same thing as having a human child to carry on the family, like I say. But I appreciate you guys trying to be, kind of giving me the Me Too look. But I really don't want cat kisses right now, if you don't mind. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be talking about like Joe Perillo said on his son's channel is that us younger people should be preparing for our retirement years now and putting money away for that reasons, because we don't know how long Social Security, or as I call it, Social Insecurity, will be around. That is absolutely true. We do not know, and we never will know. We've heard information from the CBO that said probably by 2031. I've heard other years, 2024, whatever. The point is the money is not going to be there because over years, the different people in Congress have kind of neglected social insecurity, and that's creating problems for people. It's just, And so, social insecurity issue is an issue that must be addressed, but it seems that Congress wants to talk about everything else. Congress wants to talk about Keystone XL. As I said, we don't need it. Keystone XL would be great if we were really having a shortage of oil in this country. We're not having a shortage of oil. In fact, because there is a glut in the oil market, okay, trying to make this little guy here look like he's walking upstairs. It's not exactly perfect, but some ways you can see his kneecaps and everything. It's like you can with some people. Oh, actually, it's actually kind of one of there's a funny story. I don't really remember where I got this little action figure from. But anyway, the point is that the whole thing with the Keystone XL is it's just not something that we're going to use. Keystone XL is going to bring oil in from Canada, which is a great idea, except for one problem. We have a large collection of our own naturally provided oil. We are not going to save money or anything else by bringing an additional pipeline in. And as we already discovered, what's going on with the Yellowstone River in parts of Montana, the drinking water is so contaminated with oil now because the pipeline ran under the river, of all things. So that meant that the pipeline that was a 12-inch pipeline that broke is contaminated drinking water for many towns in Montana and is making a lot of people very sick because of the amount of benzene in the oil in the water. Benzene! Yay! I'm right here, Michelle. I know what that is. That's a nasty stuff. It's a chemical that makes people sick. No shit. Okay? It does make people sick. And the point is that I really don't understand anything of why we have all these existing pipelines. Do we really need to bring another pipeline into this country when we already have a huge network of natural gas, water, gasoline, and oil? And let's not forget the electrical grid, too, because, it's not pipelines. There might be conduits as well, but, the point is all these systems are crisscrossing this country, and some of them are in very inhospitable locations. For example, like this pipeline that busted open, like 50,000 gallon oil into the Yellowstone River was underwater of the river. That's a bad place. And then, of course, likewise, we have pipelines going criss and cross over to New Madrid and the San Andreas, and it's just not feasible to have all those pipelines, and it's not always easy to maintain them because there are so many of them underground. We maintain them underground because we don't want to deal with the ugly things. Okay, we don't want to deal with the ugly pipelines, but guess what? It does happen, and it's a problem. Pipelines are becoming very much a big issue. Speaking of pipelines, let's talk about the other kind of pipelines right now. The kind that are not really pipelines, except in metaphorical sense. I'm talking about data networks. Like I said, my bank is connected into a data network that shares data with other businesses to do things like, banking and transportation. We use satellites and everything else. It's great. But did you ever wonder just exactly how reliable these things are? Internet that is becoming extremely saturated with huge amounts of data. That is becoming a major backbone, not just of our commercial and commerce life, but also the human American lives and their daily lives. So many of us, I'm certainly not exempt, use our smartphones for so many things that we don't really think about it. That our smartphones, without access to the internet, are basically pretty much worthless. I mean, they might be able to make and receive phone calls, but even that needs the internet. Because please understand that a cell phone needs the mobile base stations and the mobile central office are connected by fiber optic cables using, since all of them are digital now, using TCP/IP packets to connect phone calls from point A to point B. So there's the internet, and there's the routing, and there's IP addresses, and all this other stuff. But if something goes wrong, it can really potentially really cause grave damage to your internet and on your phone, and communications could be totally impossible. We have grown so used to all of this high-tech, high-powered things that of course, a lot of times we don't really think about. Which brings us up to mention, might want to recommend you watch a movie called Disconnect, which is it's a fictitious story about a designer of some kind of a technology that's being used by the Department of Defense to maintain the network communications and everything like that, and how much and all the phones stopped working, the electric stopped working, the whatever. The family got a chance, even though they were disconnected from the network. It's called Reconnect because the story is about the family trying to get to know each other personally, one-on-one and as a family. And also it's a good way for the father to get to understand, that there's much more to the world than just IP addresses and computers and things like that. So, there's a little bit of a Christian undertone to the movie, but I really personally thought it was pretty good. Even though it's kind of hard for me to hear it, you could hear that it was definitely a low-budget movie. But still, the story was kind of believable. I mean, technically, when we talk about Y2K at the time, so yeah, it definitely is believable. I don't see any reason why I can. Why do you like to play around with this poor guy? Because he's kind of fun. Because he's posable. I can do things with him. Yeah, he's got a lot of posability to him. He does, yeah. For a little action figure, he's got a lot of posability. So, I mean, this company added a lot of joints. His neck moves back and forth. Does this go up and down? No. There's some limitations to this toy. Or I can go up and down. He can't do that. He only looks straight ahead, but he can go highways. Yeah, that's because it's a limitation in the neck. So anyway, back to the movie. I think it's a great movie. It's on Blockbuster at home. If you get it, if you got Dish Network, you can get it. It's free. You might enjoy watching it. Another movie for those of you who have kittens or love cats is Santa Paws. Please don't get it mixed up with the dog Santa Paws. Or this is about kitty cats, not dogs. It's about kittens that stay at Christmas. It's an live action TV show, a movie. It's really cute. Me and Dory enjoyed watching that over Christmas. So it's definitely for cat owners, you might definitely be interested in that. Lastly, this is supposed to be starting on February 1st. It's going to be called Kitten Bowl 2. There is a Puppy Bowl. I don't know if it's on the same time and day. Probably it's not the same network though. Kitten Bowl 2 is about kittens playing around and having fun. As a person who is a cat lover, I'm interested to watch it. I'm actually looking forward to putting it on my DVR. I just have to see what the date and time is, and I think it's in February 1st at 12 noon. So I will double check that and let you know. Whatever, and it's gonna be on Hallmark Movie Mystery. I think so, because I know the Animal Planet has the other one. Animal Planet usually has Puppy Bowl. By the way, there's nothing against dogs. I just gotta be honest when I say it. It's just that I don't really. There's some people who like dogs, and there's some people who like cats, and some people like both, and some like neither one. It's just dogs are. They just don't excite me. I mean, when they're puppies, they're kind of cute, right? But when they get to be adult dogs, unless depending on the breed of dog, they could get to be a real big nightmare. Especially if he gets in like a bigger dog, like a Doberman or a German Shepherd, or even a Labrador. Labrador is great, especially Labrador Retrievers, except the longer haired Labs just tend to shed hair everywhere. So does this cat? Yes, he does. I gotta clean up. I got a lot of his cat hair. It's got laying all over my furniture. But my aunt and my cousins had a pug, which was a very nice little dog. She died from complications of canine diabetes. But she was a wonderful dog. She was like 14, 15 when she died. She wasn't really a puppy by any stretch of the imagination. She had a long, happy life being a part of the family. And that's the truth with any of our pets. They are part of our family. Like I tell people, I'm not my cat's owner. I'm their caregiver. I help them take care of themselves. I provide them with their food and their water, and I make sure that they're warm and that they have a clean environment and that their cat box looks good. This guy is the only he's using the cat box more in the wintertime than the other cat. Because Rusty doesn't like the smell of his own cat pee, so he doesn't like to smell it, so he goes outside. That's very common for tomcats. They don't like to smell themselves. I mean, cats that are fixed, they don't really care. But would I consider getting, if I got another cat, would I clip him? I don't know. Depends. I mean, with Rusty, for example, he's not a problem. He doesn't spray in the house. He doesn't. I do get concerned when I see him. He comes back home. He looks like he's been in a barroom fight. It makes me wonder, just how much damage that poor cat's going through. And then, of course, since there's no really too many female kitties out there, he can't really spread his genetics, and so that frustrates him as a cat. There's just a shortage of female cats outside. They're just not there. All the ones that are there are clipped and have been given radical mastectomies, so they don't have the ability to have kittens, and so that's really hard. That's really hard on adult cats because they need to do that. It's just like people. Some humans may not be quite as concerned about it, and the others are. For example, I'm sterile anyway, so me and Lummy couldn't have children, and me and Dory can't have children because they're both females. But I can't adopt children because I can't afford to. Adoptions are expensive. But still, I think about, what if I had been a mom? What happened? What if I had been part of the wonderful parent world that we all talk about? What if I was part of, well, unfortunately, it doesn't really help to answer the what if question. As much as I'd like, because the sad truth is, what are you doing for him? Oh, here we go. Please don't fall on my comic up. Chop! Okay. So anyway, the point I'm trying to say is there are things I cannot change. There are things I can change. Okay. And one of the most important things is I want to ask you guys, since obviously the few of you watched my last video were just absolutely positively kind of, in another video, oh shit, what's it about this time? Michelle's visits a doctor? I'm not interested. Nah, can't we have a video with something more excitement? Okay, what would you like to be excited by? Would you like to tell me? What kind of videos do you interest you? What topics interest you? I'm open to discussion. I'll do almost anything. You just gotta tell me a suggestion. I'll look into it and I'll see if I can make it happen. If you don't tell me, I can't help you. It's just a fact. Okay, so again, I want to remind you, don't forget to like or dislike this video. Share with your friends and enemies, because maybe your enemies might enjoy it and they might want to become your friends afterwards. I don't know. Comment and give suggestions in the comment section below here, or email me at bicehela3@gmail.com, and I will get back to you so you and I can discuss new video ideas. Okay? So for now, I'll talk to you later. Stay safe, stay warm, stay dry. Okay? Bye-bye.